I got it for 3 reasons. Right time, right place, and right
Is
God.
that fake chest hair?
Yes, it is fake chest hair. I did it so you could see the Star of David a little better.
That's really funny.
This is where the troops go in the back right there.
If you've watched this show long enough, I am very big into the milestones of what this show has accomplished. After all, we did start on a Mew, for those who don't know, but now we've made it to where instead of posting memes on the mess deck, I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada, recording a new podcast episode. And now it's up to the Coast Guard and up to, I believe, the Space Force now, because they're now a new branch. You're the only branches that haven't been on the show, because today marks a very unique milestone. Not only my first ever Air Force guest, my first ever SF guest, and I'm pretty sure my first ever political commentator guest.
Yikes. I don't know which one made me cringe more in there. You know what I mean? Like, They were all progressively worse.
Oh, wait until you hear the rest of this intro. So, I understand that this podcast separates itself for being more of a comedy theme because, as most shows are, they want to focus on geopolitics. They want to focus on, tactics and strategy. But here at 4 Years a Slave, this is not the place for that. If you are here to become a better leader, a better man, a better Marine, sailor, whatever, pack your sea bag and get the fuck out. I don't want to be that aggressive. I'm sure you're a great person and all that. But if you want to hear Aaron's story of perhaps being loyal to his fellow airmen, you're not going to look for anything resilient. You're going to hear a story about how one of his best friends got in trouble for punching a horse and trying to fight the cop.
He did not try to punch the horse. To be clear, he punched the horse.
Okay, yes, it was a successful attempt.
He got that horse pretty good, but he paid for it.
If you think the justice system is terrible, you're not going to hear our solution on how to fix it. You're going to hear about how Mr. Love almost went to, not jail, but to prison. For littering, of all things.
It was a night in a Summit County jail. Listen, it was very nice. They were very welcoming.
And if you want to hear about how to increase your PT scores, we're not going to help you get better pull-ups. You're not going to hear stories about how to increase your cardio, but you are going to hear from the Big Ten's greatest water polo athlete to ever exist.
Let's go. Shout out Ohio State.
Do I need to? There's no better way to give an introduction here for my inaugural Air Force guest, Aaron Love.
Man, thank you. That was honestly the best intro that I've ever sat through. It was great.
I'm so glad to hear that. I get complimented on my intros.
I love it. I can understand why. That was so smooth.
Oh, appreciate that. Well, now that we've gotten the formalities out of the way.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is a new thing I've been doing, but for those who, and it's going to be weird because you have a much bigger following than I do, so I assume your audience there'll be more of your audience watching this than mine, but for those who don't know who you are, who is Aaron Love?
Yeah, super simple, man. I grew up in Northeast Ohio. Like, I am the white privilege that everybody talks about. Like,
yes.
We couldn't quite afford a picket fence, but if we could have, we would have had one. Like, Dad was a fireman, prior Army guy at the end of Vietnam. So we weren't a military family, like by any regard, right?
Yeah.
So grew up in the firehouse and, the oldest of 6 kids. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. Everything was cool. Bounced around. I went to the Ohio State. Now, I want to clarify something. I left Ohio State because they politely asked me to, because they have a rule about how well you have to do on your grades. And
really?
I was well, dude, the first 2. Yeah, I was politely invited to stop attending the Ohio State University. I was like, oh, tight. Yeah, dude, I went for 2 semesters and it was just the most I wasn't ready to be that adult learner. I needed way more structure than college gave me. I kind of skated through high school.
Yeah.
And I never really tried that hard. I wasn't taking advanced classes, stuff like that. I was like, okay, yeah, 3.2, 3.5, that's fine. For everything I want to do, great. Don't care. I didn't have
the bare minimum.
Right. Yeah. I didn't have to try too hard. It was pretty, it was okay. But that caught up to me in college. And then I just started bouncing around Northeast Ohio and didn't really have a vision, a direction. I had no clue what I wanted to do, just doing odd jobs. I was a bouncer and a bar back.
Yeah.
Working in the bar scene and all, that's not conducive to anything good. So, did that for a while and ended up working this end of the road manufacturing job. No kidding, a 3 full shift manufacturing job in a factory called B&C in Barberton, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working like second shift or third shift. It was just the timing was stupid. I'd come home with like steel shavings all over me every day. I was like,
just dead end blue collar.
Oh,
type of
100%.
life.
They called it burnouts and criminals. Like it has a real name. I don't even know what the real name is. Like Bilbo and Coxswain or whatever. And but everybody called it like burnouts and criminals.
Yeah.
Just because that's where you went to work. They'd be like, yeah, you want to like make machine truck tires? And you're like, yeah, let's go. What is it an hour? But yeah, so that all happened. But then September 11th of 2001 happened. And I was like, literally, it was dollar shot, 50-cent draft night the night before at this place where you could play. They had like lighted volleyball courts, like sand volleyball courts. So it's September in Ohio. I'm 21 and I'm just getting absolutely hammered at this bar. Like I woke up like worst hangover in the world. And then September 11th happens and I was one of those dorks that was like, well, gonna go fight, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like looking back on it now with, you know, everything that 9/11 is or isn't or whatever it is, like looking back on it, I didn't know that at that point.
No, yeah.
I was like, yeah, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
So when classic stuff, went into the recruiters, the Marines wouldn't talk to me, the Army said they wouldn't put me in anything special forces.
Isn't that insane knowing the background you have? The Marines didn't talk to you.
they were just like, nah, dog. Nah, they were just like, hey, man, you know, kind of like full up or whatever. They gave me some like slough off comment where one dude didn't even like get up when I went in the room. Like the other guy just kind of, he looked and he was like, sup? And he just went like back to what he was doing. I was like, all right, tell you what, if you need me, I'll be over here fucking myself.
Where's the honor, courage, commitment in that, dude? What are you doing?
Yeah. But yeah, and then like the Navy guy wasn't there and talked to the Army guy and he's like, you can do this other job for like 3 years and then go to assessment and selection. I was like, because they didn't have there's a program that you can go straight off the street. It's called 18 X-ray for the Army.
Uh-huh.
You can just go right into whatever, like into special forces. Like usually like the Navy, you couldn't do that. Like you'd have to go in and do another job first and then go to BUDS.
Correct,
Army did it the same way. So at that time, that's what it was. So he was like, yeah, I can't get you anything other than that. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to do a regular job. Literally the Air Force dude was like, hey, I heard you said you could swim. I was like, yeah. He's like, how fast you swim a 500? I was like, freestyle? He was like, yeah. I was like, well, that was my event in high school. I swam from the time I was 8 until I was like a senior in high school. Yeah. And then played water polo briefly on the club team at Ohio State. Very short amount of time. But yeah, he was like, I was like, I don't know. I can do probably 7 minutes. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, my time was like a 6, like low 6s. Yeah. I was like, I haven't been training, but it's really not that hard for me to swim. And I've swam thousands of times at the 500. And I was like, I could figure that out. He's like, if you can pass the swim on Friday and the PT test the next week, I'll put you in Air Force Special Operations right now. And I was like, never heard of it. And he had a straight up tri-fold pamphlet and it had like PJ stuff on it.
Okay, yeah.
No information, no clue. And I was like, yeah, what do they do? And he's like, bro, they're basically paramedics that jump out of planes and save people. I was like, that sounds pretty cool.
Now, I know the recruiters will always have their, but like, is that actually true, would you say?
100% true. That's exactly how it went. He's like, don't know. It's really hard to make it. I've never had anybody get through the training. He was like, I can't tell you anything about it. He was like a maintainer. Yeah. He was like, they're badass, bro. I don't know what to tell you. And I was like, done. So I came in that Friday. I smoked the 500. I was like hungover. Smoked the 500 swim on Friday. And he was like, hey, if you can pass this PT test. And the numbers weren't like super high. Yeah. But they were also like low enough where you could be like, oh, I got it. Yeah. I'm not going to max this out, but I know I can pass that. Mm-hmm. And then I literally did that the next week. And then I was at basic training in January of 2002, which is when I showed up to Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas. That's where we do basic training. Yep. But then tried to be a PJ. Short story on the first one, I quit. Got injured off my first team like after the Hell Night, which is the big event in the middle of it. So after that, injured myself, rolled back to the next team, was there for like another 7 weeks. And I was just young and immature and stupid. And I was like, at this, I'm out. I'm going to do something else. Yeah. Paid 5 years of my life in the Air Force doing another job. It was an awesome job. I got to like go to jump school and stuff.
Which I'm really curious because from what I heard from like other podcasts and stuff, when you talk about it, you're not like regretful of it per se. Like you are thankful to it to some extent, but I'm just because like you're going in from like, because being a PJ, it's like, I mean, like grunts look up to like, SF, and like I would say like SF people, they have a deep respect for grunts, and like that community, I would say like the type of people are very similar, but then you're also in like the stereotypes of the Air Force are there for a reason. So it's like, how is it working in like normal Air Force?
Yeah, man, I just leaned into it. Like I am thankful for that first experience down at Indoc when I quit, like I was done. Like that was a good lesson to learn, because then the second time that I went through, I was like, nah, I already learned that lesson. Like I don't have to do this again. So The other working in the big Air Force was and by the way, the job was technically like nested under medical, like there's operations and medical. This job, I was training pilots to go to altitude, but there was like they labeled it as med treatment somehow in the Air Force. Because another part of our job is we actually do med treatment in the dive chamber.
Yeah.
And it was easier to put everything under one than have all these other weird shred outs.
Yeah.
Because you'd be owned by different bosses. So they basically put it under medical. So not only was it an Air Force job, but it was an Air Force medical job.
Okay.
Yeah, but I got to do cool stuff. I flew a lot. I got to see a really cool part of the Air Force. That squadron was amazing. My chain of command was 100% supportive when I wanted to go back.
Okay.
So, I mean, my oldest daughter, her godfather is a guy that I met and worked with there.
Okay.
Like, I still talk to all of them. They're great.
Yeah.
So it was awesome, best possible scenario, but I wanted to be a PJ. Like, that was it. So went back and spoiler alert, the second one, I actually got through. So that's tight. Took me another 2 teams. So I attempted assessment and selection 4 separate times.
Yeah.
Because I got injured off that team when I went back, which sucked. And then went back the last time and made it. And then 5 combat deployments, all inside of GWAT, retired in 2024. And then I have the Ones Ready podcast where we try to help people both in person with Operator Training Summit and the podcast for education and knowledge and just sensitizing them to the Air Force because tons of people don't know what the Air Force is.
Now I want to pick on big DOW. It's weird saying on a DOW, not DOD. I don't know why
I know,
it doesn't
right?
flow.
No,
off the
I'm here for it. It's so what a great change that we didn't need to do with all the other problems in the world. You know what? Absolutely didn't need to do it, but we did it for the lore, and I'm here for it.
Yes. So, from what I've heard, so you've done 5 combat deployments, obviously, and like you've had a pretty like illustrious like career. I would say that a lot of like even grunts would be pretty like jealous of or like
Sure.
say cool that, but. If you've done why is it? If I have this correct, you don't technically have a combat jump, but you've done combat. So what's the difference, or the like what's the cool lore of having a combat jump versus like just the combat deployments themselves?
Yeah, it's a super good question. So you can go like when we say combat deployments, like PJs won't call everything that we do a deployment. First of all, so I have like contingency stuff where I showed up to humanitarian, aid or disaster response, or we would get alerted to go do something.
Yeah.
And then that thing would either go off and not need us or not go off.
But it wasn't a part of something
right,
bigger.
Right.
Okay.
But like, so I don't know how many times I've done that. Like go sit forward for something from home and they'd be like, okay, this thing got turned off. Cause that stuff happens. You have to be ready to go for it.
Yeah.
So, but that's like not a deployment. The combat jump thing is a parachute deployment inside of a combat zone. So that's that's a specific thing. Like I never had a jump mission. I have friends with like 4 jump missions because they like free fall into a place to go like do stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, and you get to wear like, there's a gold stamp that they put on your wings. We call it the mustard stamp, but that shows that you have a combat jump. It's a really big deal because it doesn't happen often.
Okay. So it's almost like a corpsman getting their FMF, or like, a grunt saying, I have a combat action.
Yeah.
It's that stamp of approval. You would say.
Exactly. And then like I said, it's super rare, dude. Like when you see somebody that has a combat jump, you're like, oh, for real? Like one of the PJs that we knew for a long time had 2. So to have like 2 free fall wings with 2 mustard stamps, you're like, bro.
That's like 2 Marines, 2 medals,
bro.
or something like that.
What'd you do, bro? Like where were you at? Like I mean, outside of like Op Rhino, when we first took over, like that was a really big parachute deployment into Rhino. And our guys get jump missions a lot. It's like usually at the tier 1 units as they go jump in. Like there was a time where one of the teams was like, my boy tells a really funny story about it too. It's about like how much we jump. He was like, we were talking about, it was some random conference. We were just talking about how much should you jump and what's currency, what means you're good and what means you're bad and all this other nerd shit in a room, right? But he pulls me aside and I had went through the pipeline with him and then he went to the North Carolina unit. So he pulls me aside. He's like, Aaron, you want to know the 2 times I jumped last year? And I was like, yes, as a matter of fact, I do. He goes, I was jumping with one of the teams and it was a combat jump. And I hadn't jumped in like 3 months prior to that. And we went and we got a combat jump. And then I got home and I went on another blowout. And then I came home and I went back with the same team. He's like, you want to know the next time I jumped? I was like, when? He was like, the next combat jump. We jumped into the same place. I got 2 combat jumps in a year. Those are the only 2 jumps I had that year. I was like, that is the most ridiculous story of all time. But this team was just like, no, we're going to hey-ho in.
Yeah.
And we're going to go do that. And then he just happened to be attached to him 2 times. But like those type of stories are super rare.
Yeah. Is it almost like, granted, I'm not familiar with like the SEALs, but like, because when you say the word teams and stuff like that, you're almost, independent in a lot. I don't know if the terminology would be right, but So, like for the grunts, for example, we're attached to battalions, and then the battalions are off doing their own thing. They're almost like the head of the unit per se.
Yeah.
Is it the same thing with the PJ teams?
So yeah, in that, what I'm talking about there is he's working as an enabler or a force provider to that team. So like a force multiplier. So basically, our guys will get a request from other teams, whether it's the Army or the Navy. The Rangers had a standing request for forces for us for a long time in GWAT.
Yeah.
So a single PJ will go out into and attach to those other teams, both at the tier 1 level and at the levels below it. So basically, I mean, it's a fantastic concept. The rescue guys call it level 1 PR, but you're basically there at the point. So if something goes wrong, something might not go wrong and everything might go great. Yeah. But if something does go wrong, you can put a Band-Aid on it for the cavalry. So there's almost always a PJ that's attached to those teams. Yeah.
Okay. So.
Yeah. And then on the other side of the fence in ACC, we do work as teams just as combat rescue officers, which is our officer component, and then the pararescue enlisted dudes.
Okay. Now with the, because I would imagine, if people are in the SF world, there's obviously, physical capabilities that they're superior at. I would imagine there's mentally they're much more sharper, more resilient in a lot of ways. But compared to like the average grunt or like infantry experience, like what are the actual PJs like in terms of just like your run of the mill, I don't even want to say run of the mill, but just like your average military.
Yeah, but we totally have an archetype. Like every career field does. For pararescue, you're a little bit older. You're a little bit more emotionally intelligent. You're a little bit more smart. Like your IQ is a little bit higher than that. You typically have different life experiences behind you. Inside of the community, it's super diverse. I mean, we had dudes that were living in the car, like broke and homeless, and they would see like a formation of dudes run by. They'd be like, what's that? And then that's how they got into pararescue. And we have dudes with like double microbiology degrees from Dartmouth that didn't want to do the officer route. They wanted to be an enlisted PJ. So you got like an E4 that has 2 advanced degrees from an Ivy League school on your team.
I don't want to ask the obvious question, but it's like, why not the I don't know what biologists do, but it's like, I assume you'd ask that. Like, what are you doing here?
No, we all ask them that all the time. We're like, you went to fucking Dartmouth, bro. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, that's
like,
not the equivalent.
You should not. And it was like, we came from a place of love. We're like, bro, you should not be here. Like, you should be in a lab making millions a year doing whatever it is you want to do. What are you doing in this room? Like,
yes, this isn't Blue Mountain State Community College. Like,
yeah, but the PJ community is fun too. Like it attracts people that truly want to help. Like the righteous mission of that others may live attracts a wide range of dudes from tree hugging, hippie, like borderline, like, what was the term in Vietnam? Like borderline conscientious objectors in all other regards. They're like, no, listen, like they don't like to fight. Like they're kind of like indoor cats and you're like, whatever. And then you have dudes like on the other end that are just meat eating pointy tooth savages. It's like, medicine's fun and stuff, but you're telling me I could possibly get to shoot someone and get away with it? Like we have those dudes too.
Yeah.
And then everybody in between. But for whatever reason, the selection process that we get just gets us people that like when it comes down to the mission, those folks meet in the middle and they're just ready to go. Like those conscientious objectors are like, oh, there's someone hurt and there's somebody trying to kill that guy. Oh, I'm going to turn that other guy into soup.
Everyone's on the same page.
That you're immediately. And like, It takes all types and it's super diverse inside of the beret, but a little bit older, a little bit smarter, a little bit more mature, pretty good emotional intelligence. They can communicate really, really well. We expect our dudes to plan and communicate at levels far outstripping your peers, like as an E4.
Yeah.
Like an E4 on a rifle team, like, man, you might be entrusted with one radio. You know what I mean? I'm sending these guys out the door with narcs, secrets, crypto, advanced weapon systems, communication systems.
Just a whole nother level of competency that just goes into it.
And then that's probably the guy that I had brief the 4-star before we left on the plan. Like, hey, big dog, time to, you got to get reps. Go tell him we're going to save him. And like literally that happened to me on a task force rotation. Yeah. Like I stand up in front of the Army Tier 1 unit as this E5 on my first deployment. And my great guy that ended up being my commander later was like, all right, you're briefing. And I'm like, dude, there's 9 sergeant majors on this assault team. Like 21% of the sergeant majors, the E9s in the Army, live at that unit, live at the Tier 1 unit.
Damn,
it's a crazy stat, yeah. And they're all on the teams. Like literally, it's like sergeant major, sergeant major, sergeant major, sergeant major. Oh, you're only an E8 type. Did you just get there?
I thought like the quote, what is it? Too many chiefs, not enough Indians was like a problem in like regular.
No,
that sounds horrible.
Because they're just E9s that are just savages, and it's so flat. Like nobody cares about rank there. Everybody goes by they have like little like fun nicknames for folks like Fufu and Johnny 2 and all. Like crazy. So like you just get like a wacky nickname at OTC and it sticks with you, and that's what everybody calls you.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they just don't give a shit. They're just savages.
No.
But like we put our guys in that position on purpose because you're going to walk into a scenario where the music's going to stop and all of these teams that are supposedly battle hardened dudes are going to look at you and go, we have 10 casualties. I don't know what to do. And the PJ is like, no, we do that. We do mass casualty is our thing. Like,
yeah.
So I don't know how it is that like what magic in the mixing or how it is that we're attracting those type of people, but they all have like the same sort of qualities, just different flavors.
No, I get it. Now, with that said, I mean, it doesn't sound like there's not too much room for degeneracy or, you know, just like being the, because one of my,
you were wrong there. There is a lot of time for that.
It's because the example I give is I assume there's something similar in the Air Force, but there's it's something like if you put any Marines in that are from the same rank, they're always going to act like Lance Corporals or E3s.
All of them.
And I just always, I don't know if you've seen the movie Wolf of Wall Street, but I picture the scene where it's like all the business executives are in the same room, but they're like, okay, wait a minute. So like these midgets, they're built like a lawn dart, you know, you throw them like that. And it's like, we look at, you know, like high officers or even the SF and like, what do they talk about? You know, like, are they working on like getting better at their job? They're talking tactics. And it's like, no, they're talking like this type of stuff.
We're talking about how Taylor Swift's new album is the perfect album to put on during infill. Like, and it's so true too. Like, you know, as I got older in the career field, I would start getting invited to like senior leader working groups and like the higher level, like with the Bobs, right? With the people that were really in charge. And then there were like hangers on.
Yeah.
And I was a hanger on. But it was funny because, you know, all my old boys, that's exactly what happened. The second that you're there, you're just E4s again, just shamming, being like, how are we going to get out of this briefing? We can go down the street and hit the bar. Like, I mean, just immediately, like, brother, you have 2 children at home and you were 40 years old.
Yeah.
Calm down. Turn the rap music off. Put on a real shirt. Like, come on, quit it.
Yes.
But there's plenty of time for that, my brother. And that's 100% true. Like, the second that you see your boys, like, one of my best friends in the world, his name is Shane. He married me, and then the godfather of my son that lives here in Vegas, that I live like 10 minutes away from, he was my best man. So 3 best friends, PJs, ever. But Shane is an absolute hilarious dude, and he also just goes hard in the paint when we get together. Like he and I grew up together, so every time I see him, we had this thing where he would get me. He's like, "You want a shot?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, sure." And he would give me Jack Daniels. And it was just the most awful thing. And he used to do it to me all the time. Yeah. He would just come back, like everybody else would be getting shots. I'd be like, oh yeah, give me this shot, whatever we're drinking. And he would come back and he'd be like, here you go. And I'd take it, it'd be Jack Daniels. Like, fuck you, man.
Like the real animal, you know, of the drinking game.
Yeah, 100%. It was just, we were the worst together. It was hilarious. But anytime I see him like later in life, we just go back to those E4 days.
What's interesting, I didn't know this really until recently, but you only got out, like, I think it was a year and change ago.
Yeah, 2024.
So it's weird to think, but like a lot of like, you know, because my peers, we've been out for, you know, anywhere from like 4 to, I mean, some of them have been out for a couple years, but for you, I would say, is it safe to say that you're new to like the transition of getting out of the military and having to, like, how's that been like?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean, I go through all the same things, right? Like I was really ready to step away. So a lot of that, like, oh, I'm losing my identity and the military, blah, 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 blah. Like a lot of that stuff was handled way before I was done, you know, way before, you know, I had plenty of time to kind of like process that. Yeah. And on the day that I wasn't supposed to go to work, I just didn't go to work and it was great. You know what I mean? So I was kind of like through it there. But I go through all the other same things, man. Like the first time, I mean, it's 22 years of institutionalization. You know what I mean? Like it's like being in prison for 22 years. Like
literally.
Shawshank Redemption. Like I got to ask somebody to go to the bathroom.
22 years a slave.
I know. Yeah, I was laughing when I was like, it's going to be 22 years a slave.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, all that sort of to say, like, I lost my train of thought because I was laughing at your joke about 22 years a slave.
No, you like you said that a lot of it was already handled.
Oh yeah. But yeah, the same sort of like things like breaking that programming, so to speak. Like the first time I was working a different job, I worked a job for about a year and then took the job that I'm at now. And in that time, like the first time that I was going to like leave for the weekend, I literally called my CEO and I was like, hey, I'm going for the weekend. Like, what do you need from me? And he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, you don't need to know like where I'm going or when I'm going to be back or an address or a phone number. Like who approves this? And he was like, we don't do PTO here. You can have your phone on you. And I was like, well, yeah. And he was okay. He was like, are you like not going to answer your phone or something? I was like, no, of course I'll be on my phone and my email. And he goes, the fuck are we talking about? Yeah. And then just for a second, I was like, oh, it's me that's retarded. Oh, it's me. Oh, I've been the one asking for like the leave on weekends thing naturally came out of that. The dumbest thing we've ever done. I'm going to charge you leave for days that you wouldn't have been at work anyway.
Yeah.
Why? Because I want to take Friday and a Monday off. And it says in the reg that you have to take those 2 days off in between it.
Yes.
You can't stack it on the weekends. Why would you do that? It helps no one. It hurts everyone. And everybody hates it. They've hated it forever. But you know, all those little nitnoid like process oriented things have like been falling away. And it's been great, man.
I was going to ask to follow, but I would assume no, but like Michael Jordan, he's like, I wish I could take a magic pill, put on shorts again and just play the game of basketball. And everyone always talks about you know, missing going back. I mean, is there part of you that wishes, you know, it's like, I know you haven't been out for too long, but is there still part of you that's like, I still want to go back or do something?
I miss the clowns, man, but I don't miss the circus.
Yes.
You know, I've said it a million times. If it wasn't for me eventually becoming a PJ, I don't know how long I would have stayed in the Air Force. I love that other job, but being a PJ and going downrange with teams, deploying and doing the job's the only thing I ever wanted to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, especially it's kind of tough when you see the stuff happening with Iran and seeing what good work the dudes did out there during those recoveries. Of course, there's a part of you to be like, man, it'd be great to be on that aircraft. Just because I know the planning that goes into it. I know the feeling of being successful in that way, at least to some small regard, not comparatively to what they did. I mean, those were even if the first recovery had happened and that was the only one, that would have been the biggest recovery in Air Force pararescue history. I mean,
really,
you'd mentioned it right along Black Hawk Down, the rescue of Jessica Lynch, the rescue of Captain Phillips, like some of these big high name operations that we've been on, it's immediately in the Pantheon. And they did it 2 more times to include the Wizzo that evaded and they ended up picking up.
Yeah.
So of course, a part of me wants to be a part of that, right?
Yeah.
But that part of me that thinks that I could just throw the kid on there and go out with the dudes and hey, I'm in shape, I could do it. Man, that's not me at all. Like you got to. One thing that I always wish old dudes would do is do what old dudes are supposed to do. Protect the dudes and just get out of their way.
Yeah.
You don't need me for this. You're gonna go crush whatever it is that you need me to do. The only thing you need me to do is stay out of your way, and every once in a while, just leash you a little bit and be like, hey, too far right, too far left. Okay, go.
Yeah.
And then you just let them go. So like the last thing that I would want to do is ever put off like, oh yeah, because what you're saying when you're like, oh, I'm ready to go right now is that there's a part of you that says they need me on this, that I would crush this. Yeah. And that's the line that I'm just right up to there and go, nah, I'm good. The dudes are going to do it.
Yeah. And I imagine, especially with, you know, working SF, it's almost like being a pro athlete in the sense of like, you know, you're not going to have your physical capabilities forever. And there's going to be a point where you're going to be more of a liability or a burden than, you know, you're willing to admit.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And for us, you know, the natural sort of resistance to that, because physical fitness in the PJ community is a huge deal. Like it's just, and I mean, when you think about it, like if I'm going to go to another team and I'm going to step into a room and be like, hi guys, you're going to call me if you need me to save you. And if you look dumpy in your uniform, the guys are going to be like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, so the physical fitness thing with PJs is always funny because it breeds that credibility for what it is that you're talking about. Damn it. And I lost my train of thought again. This is the second time I've done this today.
No, you're fine. I mean, hey, maybe this is part of like the game of like, you know, we're not like trying to bring back job knowledge
it's
per
because
se, but
I'm
we're
not,
trying to bring you, you know,
yeah,
get the blood
it's
flowing.
nice to actually talk to somebody in person. So I start like, oh, and then talk about this and then talk about this because I'm ADHD and then I forgot what we were talking about. Like the part of you that is supposed to die to become something better. Like our community is great because people care so much. Yeah. And that's where that's coming from. The whole, I wish I could be there. I wish I could go in, whatever else. So I get it. Yeah. But man, like people forget, like when you make a sacrifice, something has to die. Yeah. And in order to like level up and go on to the new thing, that's the one thing that I wish for my bros that say the whole, I wish I was there, I could go right in. I wish I could communicate to them in a way to let them know, like, it's okay to let that die. Yes. Like, and go on. It was an awesome job. It was great. It's not part of my identity. You could be like, PJs are dorks. They're flying nurses. They're sit down to PJs. You could say all the mean things about the pararescue community to me. That's not attacking me. I'm like, yeah, you're kind of right. We are kind of narcissistic douchebags, you know?
I mean, flying nurses does sound like a pretty cool mascot name. It does sound pretty cool for that.
That's what the controllers used to call us for a lot. There's not animosity, but just like sibling rivalry. Yeah. Between the controllers and the PJs. And sit down to PJs is a good one. And then sky nurses.
Sky nurses.
I know, yeah. They'd be, shut up, sky nurse. We're doing real stuff. All right.
Now, would you be able to get a job in any medical field now that you've been out, or like how does that work? Because I heard corpsmen can't even get like a regular LPN job. Like that's insane to me.
Yeah. The good thing with us is that we're nationally registered paramedics. A lot of the services went away from the national registry part of it. So, which is why you're corpsman. They're probably an advanced tactical practitioner, which is the military equivalent to what an EMTP would be, right?
Oh, okay.
It allows you to do all those battlefield specific procedures, but you can't do anything in America with an ATP card.
Yeah.
You can with an NREMT. Pararescue has guard and reserve units to do stateside missions, like under Title 32. And because of that, they were like, no, the whole career field is going to keep the National Registry certification.
Yeah.
So I could go to like a paramedic spot, and I've done the things that we're allowed to do under scope of practice is I'm like, I don't have to talk to anybody to give narcotics when I'm on the job.
Okay.
Like the enlisted team leader, it's in our reg that the enlisted guy, not even the officer, is the one that's in charge of medical control, which means like guys don't even ask me. We would just be working stuff and they'd be like, they would just tell me like, hey, 50 of ketamine. We're like, okay, great. Mark it down. Like I'm not taking your notes for you.
Yeah.
So we can do a whole lot of stuff, but you know, the civilian certification part of it is nationally registered EMT. If I was going to be a nurse anywhere, I'd still have to go back to school. I'd still have to go back to school.
Man.
A lot of guys go to PA and go to the doctor route. We've got a couple surgeons and nurse anesthetists, and some guys really like medicine a lot and they pursue that. But the baseline qualifications for what we have in the military context, it's huge.
Yeah.
In the civilian context, only a small part of it transfers over.
Which is insane because it's like I would probably trust you over like anybody. Like, not to say there's bad nurses.
No,
but it's just
our
like,
guys are great medics. They handle like chaos really, really well. Like we constantly get good feedback that even our students, when they go on their clinical rotations, those guys perform really well. Like one doctor described having our students as having like a med school student at 3 years, but with good hands.
Yeah.
Meaning their procedures were good. And honestly, it's because they've had thousands of reps. Because they just, the pipeline training for medicine is crazy, and then you get follow-on stuff.
I think I know some changes we can include in the SAVE Act, President Trump. How about we get these men the qualifications they deserve, whether they want to go in the medical field or not.
Don't put it in the SAVE Act. We can't get it passed. It's an 80-20 issue. We can't figure this out.
That's actually true, by the way. Yeah, well, we'll need to figure out. Politicians, do your job in politic, as they say.
Please.
But I do want to get into one bit, though.
Here we go.
I will include, I can't show it up there, but I will include it in the show. What, can you give context? What is going on in this photo?
So let me bring you back to a deployment somewhere in Africa. We went out to this dive site. I'm going to hit the bottom line up front because that's what you got to do for the clips.
Okay.
Our teams, all 4 services, stole a national African treasure that was 1,900 years old. Here we go.
Oh my God. Is this, what's the film with Nicolas Cage in it?
The National Treasure.
Yeah. Is this like
We're going to steal the Declaration of Independence?
Yeah. Is this National Treasure, but like Somalia version, or like, what are we talking about?
It sort of is. So we went diving at this island called Musha Island, right? And it was, absolutely gorgeous. Once you got out of kind of like the brown water that is all the ports and around there, because there's no like regulation on what they can dump in there. So people are dumping wastewater and all kinds of crap off the boats, and it's ridiculous. Fish guts. So once you drive out, we had our own boat, no big deal, boats and hose. So we are you need them to support jump and dive operations. So we literally had a 31-foot like world-class dive boat.
Now, I mean, we are in Las Vegas, and then Arizona is just south of. I mean, is this really going to attract any like dime pieces, or like what are we looking at?
Well, not when you're deployed, right?
Yeah.
We did this thing though. So the 2 things that we did with this boat that pissed everybody off: MWR, you could swim with whale sharks there. MWR, we go out on these whale watching tours, but they charge like $200 a head. We would literally launch our boat on the same day. We would load up with all of our friends, support people, flyers that we flew with. Like if somebody was cool, we'd be like, hey, come out Sunday.
Yeah.
They'd be like, what? We're like, bring your swim trunks, come out Sunday. So we would go in the boat and we would just follow the MWR boat.
Yes.
We had our own navigation and stuff. We would just follow them out. And then they would park and swim with the whale sharks. And then all our people would do it for free. And it made them fucking livid. It made them so mad. They did not like that at all. But then we would use it as a benefit to bring everybody out. So anyway, we get out in our boat. We go out to Musha Island, just off of Musha Island at like 60 feet, which is the perfect depth. You can stay there for an hour when you're breathing on a scuba rig. Okay. So 60 and 60. The water is super warm. It's Africa, so it's hot out. It's gorgeous. You can see for 1 million. I mean, it's clear blue. You can see for 1 million
like the
miles.
perfect conditions for
They
this.
even had like this one little, like where it started to drop off, they even had like a concrete pylon that you could tie your boat to. I mean, it's just it was a perfect dive site.
Okay.
So we go down there and we used to dive there because there was an anchor with a long chain on it. And you could like, the guys would like try to like find it. I saw a huge fish down there. You're diving in like shorts and a t-shirt. I mean, it was just combat casual was the uniform of the day.
Yeah.
Like it was just vibes were just unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
So we start talking. A Navy EOD guy comes in and we're telling. He's like, "Hey, do you guys do any dive?" And we're like, "Yeah, we do." Spot. It's the anchor. If you know what we're talking about. And he's like, "Oh, he's like that's super crazy. The Navy has this tradition where your base is supposed to be anchored. You're supposed to display a large anchor on your base. It's a Navy tradition from a long time ago."
Huh.
I didn't know about this either. I also had to fact check it.
Okay.
So, but it's totally a thing. He's like, "Yeah, we don't have an anchor here." And we were just joking around, but we're like, "We can get you that anchor." And he's like, "No, you fucking can't." We're like, "Okay, no, yeah, we could. Like, if you wanted us to bring that anchor up and bring it back to base, we could figure it out." And he's like, "No, you couldn't." So, dude, when I tell you that the boys do what the boys did, a
Yes.
whiteboard came out. My boy Isaac and Isaac is another Ohio guy. Went through selection together. We were roommates, and we just get a whiteboard out. And we're like, all right, problem one, got to get off the chain. Problem two, we got to get, like, we have to find some way to lift it. Like, we already have lift bags. We already do this because we're trained in, like, salvage diving.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, fine, just got to lift it. But then the problem is getting it home. How are we going to do it? Oh, we can get the 53s to fly it. How are the 53s going to pick it up? And we were like, oh, we'd have to sling load it. But how, then we had to figure out the platform. So we were thinking about this platform. We went to dinner, we took a break, we came back, and Isaac was like, what if we took one of the Zodiac boats and we deflated it, like rolled it up real tight? And then we had the divers, because at that point it won't be buoyant because it's heavy as shit.
Yeah.
He's like, he's like, we'll have the divers dive it underneath, open it up, and then that's when we inflate it. And then that'll raise the anchor because the lift bags are bags,
Yeah.
but they only go as far as the surface.
Is that what these are on the?
Those are the lift bags, yeah.
Okay.
So the lift bag, and what you're looking at there is that we had to make a platform for the boat.
Yeah.
Because we were like, well, no, because the anchor's going to get caught on the boat.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, so here's what we'll do. We'll open the boat, we slide plywood into it, we put that underneath, and then the boats have their own bottles that you can just open and fill.
Huh.
He's like, so the bottle will already be in the boat.
Yeah.
We'll just fill it and it'll raise it up, and then we clear it, and then all we got to do is sling load it back.
Hell yeah. Okay.
And I was like, okay. I was like, technically this could work. We had everything we needed.
Yeah.
So we had to find like little stuff like a sling load master. So we just started hitting our boys up. We hit this Army Special Forces captain up, and we're like, hey, bro, you know anybody that's sling load qualified? The one to like Pathfinder? He's like, I did. And we were like, get down. We were like, get the fuck down to the section
Yes.
right now. We called the 53s. We flew with Marine 53s. Like
Yeah.
I have like 600 hours, 400 or 500 hours on a 53.
Okay.
Like, I've flown on that bad boy a ton, like in England and on this deployment. So we called them. We're like, hey, are you guys sling load qualified? They were like, yeah, it's super easy. How big is it? We're like, I don't know, 2,500 pounds. And we're like, oh yeah, that's easy. So we were like, get to the section right now.
Yeah.
So we start this plan, and no kidding, we planned it all the way out. It's all 4 services. So Air Force on the dive team, Marines flying it back. The Navy is going to receive the anchor, the CBs. We had them all like ready to go out to the like beach area. We're going to drop it off. Then they're going to pick it up and they're going to bring it back on base. So Marines flying, Air Force on the dive team, Navy, and then our Army dude was the sling load master.
There's so much more going into this than I would ever guess from that picture.
Oh, dude, it was deliberate planning, brother. Like we
Yeah.
literally, I mean, and we stayed up like 26 straight hours planning this thing because we were sitting alert for stuff.
Yeah.
And nothing was really happening. We were like, dude, we got time. We got time
Yeah.
for this. Like, this is a train. We had our young dudes like training and walking through. We had an entire mission plan. We briefed the commander, who was our DO at home, but director of operations. Yeah, director of operations. So he's the second officer in charge.
Okay.
The XO.
Yeah.
So we brief him the entire plan. He looks at me and he's like, I can't believe I'm going to say this. This is planned really well. You guys can do this. He was like, so we were just like, what?
Let's go.
So we planned it. We got it ready to go. And I was on the team that was on the helicopter to work the helicopter team so that we could sling load it and bring it back.
Uh-huh.
So the guys go out and the plan works out perfectly. Oh, I saw one important part. We had to figure out how to get it off the chain. So we went down. We were like, well, we talked to our EOD. We were like,
Wait,
hey,
so where was it originally anchored to then? Like I maybe I missed that in part.
it was
of the
an
story.
old shipwreck. So it was an anchor, and then there was the long chain, and the rest of the ship was like no longer there. It was either salvaged or just in pieces and parts. This chain went on for like infinity.
Okay.
But it was from a shipwreck because there's shallow water that's right there. So
Yeah.
that's just where the anchor was, and they couldn't salvage the anchor because all the other water was shallow enough where you could just take the rest of the ship up. So we had to figure out how to get off the chain. So we talked to our EOD bro, and we're like, hey, do you guys have underwater charges? And he's like, oh yeah. We're like, we might need you to blow a chain off because we had no clue. So we go down and we're like, well, let's try this. We have Jaws of Life, but our Jaws of Life are man portable. They're like this big. They're 28 pounds. But you can literally cut an aircraft apart or pop a door on an armored Humvee.
Okay.
And we have that for our extrication equipment. Well, they work underwater. And we were like, man, just take the jaws down there because they cut and they spread.
Yeah.
So we're like, man, just take it down there or whatever. The guys give it like 3 pumps on this thing and it just disintegrates. Like
Wow.
right next to the thing, they came up, they're like, dude, we got it. I was like, what? He was like, dude, it was just so old, it just disintegrated. Well, because we found out later because it was 1900 years old. So
yeah, I guess maybe I don't want to spoil it if it's
Yeah.
part of the story, but like, was there a lore behind this
it's
anchor?
an
Or, like,
African,
what's
it was an African national treasure. Literally a vetted, we Wikipedia'd it. It was an African national treasure from an ancient shipwreck that happened off the coast of Djibouti.
Wait, so wait, was this like Mufasa, like the Lion King's like boat, or like what
dude,
was the like? Who was
yeah.
this a part of? Like,
It was just part of the trades. But so a boat just like crashed off the thing, and they certified it as a national treasure, and that's where it was. It's out by Musha Island.
Wait, so how'd you get like? Maybe they have different rules and regulations on touching this stuff, but like, how'd you even get permission to just like pick this up out of the water? Then?
Permission. We didn't ask for permission. This was a smash and grab job. This is a great part about the pararescue community. Like when you walk into a team room, they'll have tons of shit on the wall. It'll be in different languages. We'll be like, where'd you guys get all this stuff? They're like, oh, we stole it.
Yes.
My boy, that same dude Shane that I was talking about.
Yeah.
We were in Croatia and we were on this big exercise and we were driving around town and we were hammered. And we saw this sign and it looked badass. It had a dude in a gas mask and lightning bolts. And then it had a bunch of Cyrillic writing, like Croatian. And we were like, dude, that's badass. We should get it. So we took our Sawzall, because we have extrication like a Sawzall, a reciprocating saw with a diamond blade on it. We're like, here's the deal. We're going to knock it out of the ground, like rock it over. We're going to fall. We're going to cut the sign off. We're going to steal it. We did this within like 200 meters of a checkpoint. Like some Croatian dude like literally watched us. It was hilarious. So we take it back and one of the Grom snipers comes over and he's like, nice sign. And we're like, yeah, man, it's pretty cool. We got it the other day. What does it say? And he's like, don't enter minefield. All of Croatia is still mined from the Russians. Like on this base, like there were only certain areas that you could walk. And we just went into a minefield and stole the sign apparently.
Part of me, like, so one aspect of me respects it heavily because it's like, think about that. Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
We're not asking for permission.
Yeah, I love that. But two, how many government conspiracies and secrets have the PJs probably like infiltrated or stolen that we don't know about? Because we're just admitting this openly on the air with this random podcast.
We are in your walls. So we have this audacious plan. It goes off freaking perfectly.
Yeah.
Like literally, like the dive team goes down, the lift bags work great. The wacky idea with the Zodiac works out perfectly. They get it up, the dude right there. That's before he started sling loading it.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy gets on there, gets the sling load ready to go. Helicopters come in, perfect hover, everything hooks up perfectly. He gives the go. He like had to jump off of there. Yeah. So as the thing is picking up, this little part had like a forearm underneath it. So it was actually sticking underneath the boat. So it started pulling the plywood up. Ooh. So as soon as the boat started lifting up, he was like, whoa, and he like jumped off. Yeah. And then it let go right away and everything went perfect. Like the entire boat didn't even come out of the water. It was just like a little back part.
Yeah.
So he jumps off. I'm like looking through the hellhole of this thing with this Marine 53. I was like, we just stole this anchor. And then the other thing is like, we had to be careful about where we flew it. We had to pick a specific route because if that anchor like clacks off, there's like 3 villages that are right on the water.
Oh yeah, because you're going over country.
You couldn't fly it. Oh yeah, this is not on base, brother. Like this is over Djibouti. So like you couldn't fly it directly over these villages. So they had to like pick this way, and then the Seabees were waiting. They drop it off. Seabees pick it up. Bob's your uncle. We get the anchor back. So they clean it up and they put it in front of the chief's mess, and it is still there to this day.
No shit.
My brother Danny is there right now, and I will get you a picture of it.
Oh, I would love that picture of that.
I will find an updated picture. I had to tell him where to find it.
You know what's crazy? I don't know if you ever seen the meme, but it was like Jordan Belfort where he's got like his little cash ad in there, and it's like that's what British people do when they're charging Egyptians to go to their museums. Right. Imagine being from Djibouti and you're having to see an American base. It's like, wait a minute, that's ours.
Hey, wait a second. Hey, stay out of here.
Yeah.
Get away from the fence. I'm gonna shoot you.
Yeah, those should. Yeah, like I don't know. Marine Corps could never. Don't get me wrong. We all have our own shenanigans, our own funny stories, but like the amount of just like, I don't want to say leeway, but the resources you guys have available, it's like the stuff you guys could pull off. That sounds so much more of an adventure.
It's way more of an adventure. Like you see us have that same rotation. We built a huge pirate ship that goes. We had one of our boat trailers. We basically made plywood out of it and made a huge pirate ship for Halloween. So we have this idea. The place that we were was right beside a fence. And then like the club, there's a big club on this base and it's right here. And our gate opened, I mean, literally to the back patio of this club. Cause they've moved since then, but that's where we were at that time.
Yeah.
So we have this grand idea. We're like, we're going to make this grand entrance, and we have the really thick white. There's a smoke. They come in different colors.
Mm-hmm.
They make a high concentration white that it is that, like, if you put it, you would die if you put it in here. Like, you could probably take a smoke grenade in here. It'd be like the red or the green smoke.
But like you just like the fume of it will just suffocate you.
You know how you can kind of like see through that smoke? You can see what's on the other side.
Yeah.
Of it, pretty much right away from the canister. The high concentration white is not like that. I mean, it is the thickest thing that I've ever seen. It's exactly the same size, a little bit heavier. It is the thickest white smoke that you've ever seen.
I'm just going to say, out of context, you say that it's the thickest thing I've ever seen.
The thickest white, and it's heavy.
Yes.
It looks thick and it looks heavy.
I'm making that into a meme somehow.
Clip that right now. I'll do it again. I'll clap it in. So we have this idea. We're like, okay, cool. So for the entrance here, so we had the truck ready to go. Everybody was dressed up like a pirate.
Yeah.
We had candy and we had water balloons. So candy was for people that we liked, and we judged them completely ridiculously for no reason. We're like, stupid boots, and you would get the water balloon.
Okay.
So if we didn't like you, you got water ballooned. And if we liked you, we got candy. And our intent was to like drive around the entire place. Well, there was like a huge party at this place. And I was like, we should drive out the close gate and right by the huge party and throw candy to everybody. And everybody's immediately like, yes. So we had the bright idea that we were going to throw these 2 white canisters right out the gate. So we opened the door, and me and the commander, by the way, like my DO back home, the guy who was the commander of this, he's like, you throw one over there, I'll throw one over here. And I'm like, Roger that.
Even the officers are in.
Roger that, Major.
Cool.
Let's go. So we literally go out and we pop them. Well, we ourselves underestimated the thickness of the white smoke.
Okay.
So after about 40 minutes of trying to explain that to the fire department, who showed up along with the MPs to figure out why we
that escalated quickly.
It came in as like a fire at this huge club where there were like 300 people. So people were jacked. I mean, just freaking out. Meanwhile, my guys are in the background, and of all times to hit somebody with a water balloon, they just absolutely crushed this, like on his chest. And just it even had like the perfect water balloon, like almost like art picture.
Yes,
where,
like a splatter.
You can see negative space. It was just perfectly water balloon. And the guy just goes like this. And the MP that was talking to me sees this whole thing and looks at me and goes, "The fuck there, Big Sarge." I was like, hey man, I'm sorry. I was like at E6. I was like, listen, man, the bros are the bros. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm sorry for being who we are, but that's what it is. But dude, so much time for shenanigans.
Yes.
We are still, that's actually a big regret from my career, is I didn't even know this was part of our lore. But if you do a rescue on a ship, you're supposed to steal that ship's life preserver, like the one that has its name on it.
Yeah.
It's just something that we do every time we make a rescue on a boat. And my very first rescue was going out to get a Filipino dude that had appendicitis in the middle of the North Sea. So it was like a huge super tanker. So they hoisted me down from the helicopter, wrapped the dude up and treat him a little bit. He didn't need a ton of stuff. So I just got him back into the helicopter. So I hoisted up and then came back home. Like that was my very first rescue. And when I got home, my entire room was like, "Where's the preserver?" I was like, what do you mean? And they were like, "You were supposed to steal the preserver." Like people were pissed about it. They were like, "We were about to have another preserver for the wall." Like everything on our wall was like stuff that you stole from boats.
Yeah.
And in the moment, I just failed. I fumbled the bag.
Do we know what oil tanker it was?
I don't. I could find out. I think we actually won the Sikorsky Rescue Mission of the Year that year, the helicopter pilot. So the reason that I was at the STS, the dudes that are right up the street that are at the rescue that should have gotten the mission, they were all TDY. They were like, "Hey, we need PJs to do this thing." So we had a jump team and a helo team.
Yeah.
And they ended up just putting me, like the helo team was the B team. Like the bros thought they were going to get this big mission jump. Like they were going to jump and recover to a larger vessel and then take off their dry suits and just treat the patient and then wait for them and like figure out how to get them out and all this other stuff. And then we get on the helicopters and I was like, "Oh, this is going to be 8 hours of my time." And the team leader is like, "Oh no, we're definitely going in." He's like, "Weather out there is bullshit. It's like 100-foot ceiling." He's like, "We're going to have to refuel like 3 times. And then we'll go to the ship and the guys won't jump." I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah." He was like a master sergeant PJ from up the street. So I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Oh yeah, you're definitely hoisting down to get this guy on the boat." And I was like, "What?" And then sure enough, like 6.5 hours later, we're like 30 minutes out. And the 130 is like, "Dude, we can't see anything. There's a deck at like 100 feet." And he's just like, he just looked at me. He's like, "Get your harness on."
Yeah.
I was like, "All right. That's a big hoo-yah, Sarge."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of the term tactically acquire?
I love it. I just call it stealing because it's more aggressive. I do love saying tactically acquire. That's good. Like around the uninitiated, you can say tactically acquired and you get away with it. I just like saying stealing so everybody's involved.
Now, does Big Air Force actually like? Because I know a lot of the stuff that we talk about stealing, you know, it's like petty stuff. But like, have you actually gotten like? Has there been a crackdown on like the PJs for like that? Like part of the culture or anything like that?
We don't have to steal anything. No. That's no. Everybody does respect. Like Pararescue has some weird quirks. Like we have a literal doll head. I'll send you a picture of Charlie too.
Dollhouse.
There's a doll head. So back in Vietnam, some PJs got drunk in Fiji and decided this Fijian head. I mean, it's crazy looking.
Yeah.
This Fijian head should be a PJ. So they put a beret on it and it became the official mascot of the entire career field. There's like rules around. His name's Charlie. He's got a beret on. He's got a scuba tank in his mouth. He's got like a hands are like this, and he's got the scroll with all the rules in it. So it is a badge of honor to have Charlie at your unit.
This is the coolest lore I think I've seen for a mascot. I don't even think the Marines have anything for the bulldog or anything. That.
No. So if your unit has it, there's rules. Like you have to display it. People have to know where it is. You can't like hide it away. You can't hold it in a vault. Like you have to be able to see it is one of the rules. So typically through a window. Some guys have gotten really smart and put it like in a locked room, and then they put a camera on it. Like it's in that room and you can see it. That's a rule. However, when you want Charlie, you can fight for it. You are literally allowed. Like if somebody just like walked into this room with Charlie right now, I am legally allowed to fight that motherfucker to get Charlie.
And not ground fight, like actually
fight.
Like throw hands.
Anything you want to do, you get that Charlie, and then you escape. I've had people get into full-on fights at McCarran. They were going home from TDY, and the Vegas guys got wind that because we had them at the 2-2, and the Vegas guys here got wind that we had them and that we were flying out. So my boy Chase shows up to the airport and he looks around. He's like, "Why do I recognize all these?" Oh no, because I told him I was like, "Hey, this is the first time you've ever had them. People are not your friends, dog."
Wait, so you can steal another unit's Charlie then? Is that what
Charlie is Charlie. There's only one. You were allowed to fight.
So there's that
only
same
one
Charlie.
That
is
same
just,
Charlie.
And it's still in existence.
People have defeated secret level vaults, like no kidding, like broken into skiffs to get Charlie out.
Holy shit.
Some dudes tied him to a chain and had him like way up in their ceiling. Like that's how they displayed him. And it was in the middle of their caseband. Like, so there was like no way to get it. The dudes found a way and got it.
Wow. So you could go onto a base that maybe you're not like, you can try to steal it from
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Charlie is always fair game. The only time, so he has to show up to official events, like when PJs retire.
Yeah.
Charlie will be present at the event, but you have to wait, and it's super locked in. You are not allowed to try to get Charlie. You're not allowed to fight to get Charlie until the official end of the event. Like you have to wait to the end of the event. But the second that those events end, there's been full-on brawl fist fights over Charlie.
Like literally right after a guy gets like retired or something.
Savages are trying to steal Charlie from you at all times, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He's a constant moving target. He has his own Instagram page.
Dude, this is the coolest lore I think I've heard about anything. Oh my God.
The other rules is like non-PJs aren't allowed to hold him.
Okay.
So if you have a wife and she's like, "I want to hold Charlie," you will look at your wife and you'll be the fuck you are. You don't have a beret. You better stop it.
Okay.
But no one else is allowed to hold Charlie. And then if any other career field tries to take Charlie, it says expressly in the rules, every single PJ in that room is morally obligated to fight that motherfucker.
Wow.
Like you're not allowed to, like nobody else is allowed to have Charlie. You're not allowed to hold him. And if you tried to, like, I would beat you to death if you tried to run out of this room with Charlie.
I got two questions for that. One, is there I would imagine it's hard to do it as it, progresses and moves throughout the world, but is there a lineage of like who's held Charlie like between the
there has to be a list somewhere because everybody knows where Charlie is. Like every once in a while the group chat would be like, "Hey, who's got Charlie?"
Yeah, and I was gonna ask that. Is it similar to like at Christmas time where there's the Santa tracker? Is there like a Charlie tracker?
No, Charlie tracker is a great idea, actually. Yeah, so the Instagram will update like, "Oh, I got stolen by these dudes." Or every once in a while they'll just be like, "Oh, I found a new home," and it'll be like the dudes at the unit with Charlie.
Yeah,
it's fucking like from the outside in, it is the dumbest shit. Like you're telling me grown men will punch their grown. I have best friends. That guy that married me and my best friend.
Yeah.
If there was Charlie in the middle of the room and those two, I would beat the shit out of them and take Charlie. And they would understand. They'd be like, "Man, remember when you caught me with that right when we were fighting over Charlie?" I'd be like, "Yeah." I'd be like, "Almost had him though."
Oh, here's a good one. So like for you, you're retired. Could you have Charlie and you're like way off base and stuff like that?
But you have to hand him to a unit. you can't hold them individually. So I would pick the unit of my choice.
Oh,
and then I would
okay.
take Charlie and give him, like, the retirees can have him, but they have to give him to a unit. You can't just have him at your house in fucking the middle of Montana. And
Okay,
shit.
so he has to be with a
Yeah.
PJ unit.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the rules would say, I mean, imagine, because the rules are the rules. The standard is the standard. So if you want to have him at your house, I'll break into your house and steal Charlie.
Damn, okay.
I know. Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, it is a really cool thing. Like, from the outside looking in, you're like, you guys telling me you fight over a doll head?
I think it's the coolest thing ever. I really do. I'm enamored. I wish I could do a whole podcast episode just about that alone.
I've done one. I'll send you the link. So I did one for Task and Purpose.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, where I talked to them about, like, the lore of Charlie and whatever, because we had him at the 2-2. Like, the story, Shane, the same guy. I hope somebody from the Portland unit is listening. This is a new drop right now. Shane Bricky stole Charlie from you when he was in Portland that one time. And then he drove him down the road and he passed him off to me at a gas station at 1 o'clock. That's how the 2-2 had him prior to Curtis Andes' retirement. So my boy Shane is training. He's like, dude, Charlie's here. He's like, Aaron, I need you. I'm like, what? Because I was right down the road.
Yeah.
I was like right down the road in Tacoma. And he was like over the border in Oregon training. And he was like, dude, these guys got him. We can get him. Our mentor was retiring. So he's like, we got to take him to this retirement. And I'm like, you tell me what you need. He's like, tonight, be ready to go at like 1:30. He's like, I'm going to text you and I'm going to let you know we're out the door and we're good. He's like, but I need you to meet me at this gas station and we're going to pass it off. He's like, because they're going to know it's me right away and I can't have it. I was like, done. He texted at 1:29. I was in the car at 1:29:30. I was already on the way. Took that bad boy, and that's what led to the fight at the airport, is because my friend at the unit had him, and he's like, I'm going to take him TDY. And I was like, listen, bro, these guys are not your friend.
Yeah.
There was a running fist fight in the drop-off lane at McCarran Airport. He ended up running in, like, he had a backpack that had like straps on it, but he put it on straight so he could hug it. Somebody was like trying to shove him in a minivan. They were just going to take him both.
Like, just straight up kidnap him?
Straight up kidnap him. So he's like, whatever. Some lady's like, call the police. And immediately the dudes that are wrestling with Chase go, no, don't call the police. Everybody's friends. And Chase goes, yeah, call the police. Call the police. So anything to do. So he gets in, he sent me a video. His face was busted up. They had a video of them trying to shove him in this minivan.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Got him home though.
So the friend gets kidnapped, right?
Almost kidnapped. He ends up getting through security. So
Wow,
he gets it back home. So Charlie stayed at home. He was not taken by the 58th.
Okay, so, and then, so let me get this straight. So he didn't end up getting kidnapped, but you got a hold of Charlie somehow, or did you?
He did.
Help him?
Yeah. So I was not with him. They were like leaving at a different time or had a different flight or something.
Okay.
But it was my troop and they were training. So he was going home and then he got accosted at the airport, but held on to him. And then he told me, he was like, Aaron, you were right. Those were not my friends. And I was like, I told you don't. Charlie, all rules are out the window. Like, if Charlie is on the table, I'm going to fight you for Charlie. Like, we had him at the schoolhouse for a while and he came to a graduation. One of the dudes brought in a baby carrier. Like, literally, like, they had a kid, which was super common because the instructors would go to all the graduations and you would bring your kids and your babies.
So it's under the radar.
Right. So he's just got him in there. So he takes it out. We do one picture and we leave and all hell breaks loose. All hell. I literally walk out. My boy is going, we knew the lay of the land better because we lived in Albuquerque and it was at the Marriott, like the Pyramid Marriott.
Oh, so this is in Albuquerque?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. I live on hallowed ground. I can't believe this.
Oh yeah. So that's where it was. We moved up, whatever the hotel, I'm blanking on the hotel, but it's one right by Buca de Beppo near Midtown.
Okay.
So whatever.
Yeah.
But we knew the lay of the land better. So I was like, listen, when you need to leave, don't go out that way, go out this way because you can pick it up on like the back side of the hotel.
Yeah.
They had this one door that went, I think there was a pool over there or something. I was like, go out the pool door. And then that way, the people that are picking you up, I'm like, just throw that bitch in the pickup truck and zoom out.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay. So he goes this way. I go and I turn around to look at the other end of the hallway and there's a pretty famous PJ chief. He's a short dude, but he's like a little bulldog. And he looks at me from like 15 feet away and I look at him and he's in full dress blues, by the way. We're both in full dress blues. He sprints at me and he starts sprinting at me. I sprinted at him and it was who could shoot first. And I barely got like underneath it and just tackled him.
Oh, God.
And then I just like stood up and like got away from him.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to like give my friend Justin time to run down this hallway.
Yeah.
So literally he just absolutely, just a Braveheart meet in the middle at this very nice hotel's conference center because that's what Charlie is.
Oh, so have you? So by this, then, are you a part of the lineage of Charlie? Then, like, can you say that I did have Charlie?
Oh
like,
hell
he was
yeah,
mine?
yeah. And it's actually a big deal. And that, like, just like the mustard stamp for like your combat jump for your wings, like to be able to say that you held Charlie. Like there are certain PJ friends of mine that have never held Charlie, and they're like, it is the biggest regret of my life.
It's like a Super Bowl ring almost.
It's 100%, and everybody takes pictures with it. Everybody's just always like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it is the coolest of all time.
I would never thought I would, because I mean, you have a very interesting career, but I'm almost like more I'm more enamored and interested like in the Charlie lore than it's like I am in my own guest. I feel terrible about this.
It's great. I'll send you. The rules live online. Like the Pararescue Foundation, maybe the association has the rules online, so I'll send it to you for the show and whatever. But
So how many PJs are there like at any given point in the year? Because I imagine like if there's not too many versus if there's a lot, like it could like the dynamic of how competitive this gets probably changes.
So there's 200 like active duty side, and then actually like 60% of our force lives in Guard and Reserve.
Really?
So yeah, there's a big Guard Reserve because again they had that stateside mission. So you look at the 212th up in 212th up in Alaska, like they're the primary rescue dudes of choice there.
Yeah.
Like they have some hiker that's lost. They've responded to bear attacks.
Mm-hmm.
They've had planes that went down like way deep in the tundra, and they had to like basically jump in and then ski to the plane.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, those dudes do work. But like New York has a unit. Like New York was the guys that responded to a perfect storm.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember, they sent PJs into there. Coast Guard wouldn't go. What's up?
Huh.
Ashton Kutcher was a bitch.
I forgot about that movie.
I know,
my
yeah.
God.
Cocoa Beach, they do the NASA space shuttle mission. So they covered the Artemis launch.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's a super cool part of our career field is all manned space flights that take off. Pararescue teams sit and alert for it.
And now when you were in, did you do like similar stateside stuff as well?
So we would get alerted to stateside stuff. I went on a couple rescues out of New Mexico, actually.
Okay,
Like
nice.
once a quarter, they would have like some people that were hiking and everything was fine. And then the weather blew in and they got assholed where they were. And they needed like my boy Matt went on what's affectionately referred to as the llama rescue.
The llama rescue.
So
Okay.
the call comes in that like somebody's up in the Sandia Mountains. The Albuquerque is pretty high for those that don't know. In elevation, it's like around 5,000 feet in some of the surrounding areas, but the Sandia Mountains go up to almost 10.
Yeah.
So they're up at like 8,500 or 9,000 feet. And basically the call comes in that they're stuck. They can't go anywhere. So they're like, okay, well, we're going to hoist our boy down on the like scree edge of this slope to go get these people that are stuck on this mountain. So the helicopter goes overhead and they have this tent for whatever reason. And then the helicopter starts blowing the tent. The people come up and they're like waving the helicopter off. So Matt's just like, just put me down. So he goes and talks to him. The one chick didn't even want to come out of the tent. These two llamas show up out of nowhere. And Matt like, and the people didn't react to him. And Matt just like looks, he's like, are these your fucking llamas? And he was like, yeah, they're ours.
What?
He's like, they just had llamas with them. That's why we call it the llama rescue. So Matt is getting hoisted at like 8,500 feet and eventually like convinces these people to hoist them out, leave the llamas.
Yeah.
And we can't take the llamas, guys. I don't have a harness for it.
Yeah.
And they're not cleared to fly. That's a little known fact about llamas is they get really airsick.
I would imagine they probably.
I made that up. You got to be better about this. How would I know if llamas are airsick?
Well, I would think. I would think you can't take animals with you.
I just figured out that I could lie to you about whatever I want. None of this has been true.
You absolutely can do that. Can you imagine if the whole Charlie thing is a lie?
It's a whole lie.
I bought into this for half of my episode. Jesus Christ. I'm going to retire. I'm done.
And I just stuck to the bit.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man. No, so we would do that every once in a while. I went on St. Patrick's Day. It was a remarkably retarded call.
Okay.
We were in the St. Patrick's Day. It was at the end of the day. A really good friend of mine, Lucas, and I were there, and we were the only two people left in the section. Training was done and everything was cool. It wasn't like super late. I think it was like 4:10 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a random phone rings in the commander's office, and I was either the flight chief or the op soup at this point. So I went in and picked the phone up. I was like, "Hey, Pararescue Schoolhouse, it's Aaron. What's up?" And it's the helicopter squadron. And they're like, "Hey, we got a rescue." And I'm like, "What?" And they were like, "Yeah, some guy essentially had surgery a couple days ago, didn't listen to his doctor's recommendation, and was out either scavenging or poaching in the lava fields." So it's like way out there. And the park rangers, it was such crappy terrain that they couldn't get to him. And the guy couldn't walk and they couldn't get the trucks to him and all this other stuff. So they're like, "Hey, could you guys go in and do this?" We're like, "Yeah, man, cool." So we go out there and we think the guy's like possibly bleeding out, like his suture's ruptured.
Yeah.
So we're like, "Oh, cool. This guy's probably bleeding out." So we get out there. We hoist down into this lava field. I still have a scar on my leg from this event, like that scar that's right there.
Okay.
I get hoisted down into the lava field, and it's super. I mean, these rocks are like probably like half as big as this couch. Like some of these rocks are like this tall and like your cushion wide.
Like
on the
borderline boulders. You could
Yeah,
say.
yeah. So and then there's smaller sections or whatever. So I'm getting hoisted down and it's windy, and I get swung into this rock and immediately just scrape with lava rock my entire shin, and it starts like it was bad enough that it was like bleeding into my boot.
Yeah.
So it hurt, but it wasn't like disabling. I was just like, I cut myself. This sucks. So we get to the dude, and we go, and like the park rangers have like an ATV out there, but they didn't have the ATV that you could put a litter on, which blew our minds. We're like, why would you not do that?
Uh-huh.
But then we see like the bigger sort of side by side that can carry a litter, and then it comes and parks behind the thing. So I'm like, why are we here? So the helicopters take off, and we walk up to the dude, and the park ranger walks up to us, and she's like, oh, hey, thanks for coming out. Here's the thing, he doesn't want to go. I'm like,
huh?
What do you mean he doesn't want to go? So it turns out he was worried because he was out poaching, and he thought like we were going to take him in to basically get in trouble.
Oh,
okay. So, and he was kind of like a weird dude. So he was like, oh, they finally sent the black helicopters for me. You know what I mean? Like
he thought he was getting like, thrown in prison, getting chased like
two
law
kitted out dudes in multicam are walking up on you and just being like, hey, I'm here to help, smoke you in the desert in New Mexico, just like your worst fears. But yeah, so we literally talked to the guy, and he's just like, yeah, man. And he had a bunch of like antlers on him. So he was like, oh, I was just like scavenging around for these, but they think he was poaching.
Okay.
So they were just like, whatever. And then he did have a medical problem, but he was basically just like, hey, we're not going to do this. So we literally had to take our phone out and go, hey, for the record here, you do not want our assistance. We are about to leave, and you do not want to come with us, right? And he was just like, yep, that's right. We were like, okay. So then we hoisted ourselves back up and just took our happy asses home.
Yeah.
It's like $10,000 to turn an HH-60 on. we flew two of them and had two special operators go show up to a guy that was basically like, nah.
Mm-hmm.
But we would do that. Like we would have actual rescues like the llama rescue or, some of those other calls probably about once a quarter. And then the guard guys do great stuff. I mean, the guard guys, Moody to a large degree, but, a whole bunch of guardsmen from all of the units did great work in Katrina. They did great work in some of these other natural disasters that have happened. They showed up to Haiti during the earthquakes and reopened their entire country's air infrastructure. Like they just ST dudes just from the 2-3 just went down there and ran an entire airfield to get supplies in and out and people. And Fukushima nuclear reactor, same thing. We had dudes on that. So
okay. Now I imagine with the guy you were talking about, the poacher.
Yeah.
If somebody denies, or if they say, hey, I don't want to get rescued, it's like, do you have to film that? Like just to say, hey, we're not lying about this. Or?
We did just because it was funny. Just because because nobody would believe this story if we didn't say, hey, we also did a video. You know what I mean? You don't have to. And again, I'm not here to physically restrain somebody into a helicopter. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm like, you don't want my help? All right, tight, don't die. I don't want to come out again.
I mean, I assume you would probably have to. I mean, if the situation were that case, I mean.
Flying helicopters is dangerous. Flying in high winds in New Mexico where it's hot out and it's high, like helicopters don't fly well where it's hot or where it's high, and that's where we were flying. I would rather not risk my own life. Helicopters crash. Like simple training events, you catch a bird strike or something wacky.
Military's known for that.
Helicopters have killed way more PJs than gunfire has. So that's just a truism. So I was like, you don't want to go? Great. I'm trying to go home and it's St. Patrick's Day. I'm trying to go home and hang out. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to sit and get into an argument with you about taking you into a helicopter.
Yeah, Lance Corporal Underground has it that Charlie's around town right now. I have more important things to do.
There's a fight at the schoolhouse right now. This is all an elaborate ruse so they could steal Charlie. Damn it.
Can you imagine Alex Jones pulls that on InfoWars? You just see his layers of just sources and pictures and stuff like that. Look, Charlie secretly comes from a Fijian island. He was crafted by the Illuminati.
With the globalists. Did you see he was right again today on SPLC?
Oh, about him talking about them bribing people off or propping up the
Charlottesville in 2017. He said it in 2017. He was like, "No, SPLC funded this. It was all fake." And everybody's like, "All right, listen.
Where is the Alex Jones is right jar?
All
Throw
right,
that coin in there."
He isn't right. He said a bunch of crazy things. He does make a bunch of different predictions, but his success rate is surprisingly high.
And the fact that
it's surprisingly, you're just like, okay, I don't want to sign on to everything that you say, but you've called some really big things pretty correctly.
It's the fact that it's him. All people. It's It's like we're not talking about like Jake Tapper or like Don Lemon. It's like we're talking about the guy who says that there's that the spiritual war of our lifetime is because interdimensional galactic aliens are trying to make us, like do evil. He said Hillary Clinton is a demon, and he's probably right about that too.
Right? Yeah. I mean, we're gonna find out. I don't know. Yeah. No, it's just crazy.
If you watch her press conferences, there's flies going all around her, and you notice how she doesn't blink when the flies are near her.
The very idea that he would do like an expose on Charlie. Is the American military worshiping dolls and false idols? Well, at least our special operators are.
Look, they've been doing this for 3,000 years.
Look at
the ball statue.
You'll see here very clearly this Egyptian hieroglyph. It's a pararescue emblem.
Look, Smedley Butler wasn't lying that the military-industrial complex is doing evil things. The pararescues, they stole Charlie. They stole the anchor out in the African Ocean.
I heard they got into a huge fight in Norway that one time. Hilarious.
Oh, my God. Did you get in a fight in Norway?
I totally did get in a fight in Norway.
So this is true as
It's
well.
okay. This is going to play really well to your liberal fans, but it was over racism.
Do I have liberal fans?
I hope so.
Well, I did have a liberal fan. Oh,
Michael Jordan said Republicans buy sneakers too. You got to open that up, brother.
Okay.
There you go.
I was going to say, I do have one of my liberal... Well, by the time this airs, I'll probably have a live beef with them anyway, but I did have a liberal fan anyway. Yeah, hey, Trey, are you going to keep ducking my questions the same way that you keep ducking those pro fights of yours? Yeah, undefeated professional fighter, but you haven't fought in 4.5 years. Riddle me that one. Anyway, back to you.
Trey, I don't know. I think you're a good guy. I'm going to take your side on this one. I hope you have a good time.
Yeah, why are you going to call me a white supremacist out of nowhere, dude? I've done nothing.
Wait, are you?
Apparently I am. He accused me of it. All I said was the frogs are gay. I didn't think that would mean anything.
That got you.
I do my best in life. All right.
That got you. No, crazy story. We had this really, really good friend. I will call him Biggie. Biggie was a very, very short, very, very dark African American. Now, he made this joke. I will not make this joke. It is a fact. It took him 4 times to get through dive school. He's like, make your own jokes because of it. That was the type of dude that Biggie was. He was awesome. He was my roommate up in Norway. We're doing this big training thing. We go out.
Do you guys call them iron ducks, by the way?
I don't know what that means.
Oh, like when Marines do swim call, there's a lot of people who struggle with the swimming, so they're called.
Okay, iron ducks. No, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, he figured it out. He was great. Awesome combat controller. Awesome dude. So we go out and we had a little bit of time off training so we could kind of go turn it up. We go out in this really small town in Norway, and it's like our entire team. It's like 10 dudes. And it's just like 6 foot tall, 200-pound dudes of every flavor, like whatever. So we go out. The only other thing, and this is going to come into play in a second, the only other thing in this town was a Norwegian nursing college with like 500 students.
Okay.
So 18 to 24-year-old Norwegians. I don't know if you're aware of the makeup of the Norwegians, but they're all gorgeous.
Yes.
Because the Vikings stole all the good women. You know why they call English women swimmers?
I do not know that.
Because the Vikings would throw the ugly ones off the boat and they swam back to England.
That's a real thing?
It's a totally real thing.
Wow. Okay.
That's why all the Nordic countries have like typically beautiful women.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because they selected for it.
And that would explain the English gap in the teeth of a lot of
we're inbreeding. Yeah, there's a small island. There's a lot of people and whatever.
We drink tea, my love.
She said. I lived in England. It was great. So anyway, so we're out there just having a good time. So it just so happens that they're having a theme night at the bar, and the theme is American football. So you have a special operations team of dudes just driven by testosterone at an event where all of these people are cosplaying American. Like, what did you think was going to happen? So we went, everybody was fine. There was no like super crazy stuff during the night. We were all like just drinking ridiculously. And we're automatically like super popular because we're American. We're like not from there. It's a small town. Like imagine like 1/10 of your town showed up.
Yeah.
Like who are these new people? So everything's fine. I'm sitting by the door with my friend Ted. Ted looks at me and goes, I can't believe Chris got punched. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, Biggie, he got punched. And I was like, I'm sorry, why are we not talking about the huge fight that's going on? How did he get punched? And he was like, yeah, somebody kind of like called him a slur and like sort of like threw a punch. It kind of like glanced off. I was like,
they don't know.
I was like, hold on. And I like Biggie shows up and I look at Biggie and I was like, did somebody punch you? He's like, I tried to throw a punch. He's a little bitch, whatever. And I was like, call you the N-word? And he goes like, yeah, he did, but I don't really care. And I was like, I know you don't care. So during this like interaction with me and Chris, the dude literally and his like 2 friends like walk right by us.
Yeah.
And Ted like turns and he's like, oh yeah, that's that guy. And I had on my slick pea coat because it was like 2010. Boondock Saints was everywhere. I was just slick little pea coat. So I take my pea coat off. I finish my vodka soda and I go, hey man, I'm going to go outside and fight that guy. You guys don't have to come, but that guy's getting it. Because they stopped outside to like pee in a snowbank. So they're just standing there and I can see him right from the door. I was like, I'm going to go fight that guy. You guys don't have to come, but I'm going to go fight that guy.
Yeah.
So I left. So I got within about 10 meters of him and I was like, oh, and so for logistical purposes, 5 people still here, 5 people on a road going back home.
Yeah.
So I go out, I say, hey, the guy turns around. He is aware that I'm serious and he starts to run in negative 40 degree weather with snow everywhere because it's the winter in Norway.
Oh, God.
And he sprints around like this like bank sort of building that's on a weird triangle intersection. I catch him right around the corner and I hit him with what I thought was a super good punch and he didn't move. And I was like, oh no. This is what I come to find out. He was like, I'm in danger. I should not have done that because I was like, oh, I got him. And I didn't get him. But what happened is he was standing up against the wall and he didn't move because they bounced him into the wall. He just didn't have anywhere to go. But it kind of like scared me. So I just like punches in bunches. Yeah. Probably not necessary because my boy ran after me and he like had my coat. This guy ends up being like the career field manager, like the ranking enlisted guy in a command.
Oh, okay.
So he has my coat and I like hit him a couple times. I look up and the bars had all let out. So there's like 300 people around us.
Oh.
And my boy goes, hey, we should probably go. I was like, yeah. So unbeknownst to me, they follow me outside. My friend Shane is there with us. They follow me outside. They start fighting with the other 3 guys. 5 more dudes show up out of nowhere. So now it's like this running fight. Well, the 5 guys that had been walking home got super pissed. Biggie was part of it. He got mad and decided he wasn't going to take it. So he comes around the corner right when these other people show up.
Yeah.
It is a running fist fight in the middle of this Norwegian.
You guys are about to find out how good you can swim when they throw you off the boat.
Well, so the cops show up, and the cop just so happens to be the second in charge of the military base where we are.
What the fuck?
Because they all have like these side gigs because the military isn't like a full-time gig for them. So Shane and I are blackout drunk. We're not the ranking guys. We're like E5s. And they're like, hey, you guys got to talk to the cops. Fast forward, the Norwegian commander of the base brings us in. He apologizes. The most awkward thing in the world. He's like, I am sorry that person called you an N-word. But he didn't say the N-word. He said the word. And we were like hard-art it. And we were like, whoa, okay, cool. Thanks for the apology. He's like, we do not tolerate the N-word. We do not call. And he's saying it every time. He said it like 6 times in a sentence. Yeah. And all of us were just like, oh my God, I have never heard a Norwegian white guy say this many slurs in a row and have it be like somewhat like he is just saying what the guy said, I guess. It was super uncomfortable. They gave us a truck to let us go down to watch the Super Bowl to like say sorry about this entire thing. And he's like, he starts it off. He's like, I would not have been so welcoming to this conversation if Aaron and Shane hadn't been so professional and respectful during the time. I was blackout. No, they put us there because like we just have the gift of gab. My boy Shane could sell like, ketchup popsicle to an Eskimo wearing white gloves.
Yes.
Like this dude just has the gift.
I'm so glad you've seen Tommy Boy.
Come on, man.
Great fucking
yeah. So we just apparently wowed him. And then they were like, hey, really sorry about that. No charges. Like we're going to talk to the dude about, the cops about charging these other guys. And they got the absolute worst of it. I mean, like it was a pretty one-sided victory for us. So it was like everybody walking home, like everybody was just fine. And people were just like uppercutting punk asses into punch bowls and shit.
Yeah, just haymakers all day. Just
and everything landing, like everything you throw is great. It was hilarious. I was just like, all right, well. But yeah, so that was the international incident that wasn't. And then they allowed us to go watch the Super Bowl and take one of their vans in Oslo at the Hard Rock, and it was sweet.
That is a great story. I will say a great story because that almost 20 minutes, actually. It's actually perfect for that.
There we go.
But I always end off to anybody who's listening that is still in the military, regardless of the branch, MOS, rank, wherever they may be. What do you want to leave them before we wrap this up?
Yeah, keep going, man. Don't lose hope. I know it's 99% BS for the 1% of the stuff that you love, but it's worth it. The country's worth it. What you're doing is worth it. Don't be black-pilled. Have hope. Like the second that you lose hope and everything is meaningless, man, find whatever it is in your job, in your MOS, in your life that you can hope for, and then just try to make that happen every day. It's not as bad as everybody makes it, and you're going to miss the clowns. You might not miss the circus, but enjoy the clowns while you're there.
Absolutely. Now, where plug in anything you want. Well, where can people find you? Do you want to promote anything special? Follow Aaron, please, on any platform he wishes here.
Yeah, Aaron_loves_America is my personal account. One's Ready is the podcast platform. Operator Training Summit, if you want to come get some of this training to help you be successful in the Air Force Special Operations world. we can help you out with that. We got a great team of instructors, world-class runners, special operators, all kinds of stuff. So I'd love to talk to you. I'm easy to get a hold of. Bitch, I'm famous. You can just Google me.
Love that. Dining with the rich and the famous, literally. Go watch One's Ready. I've been watching a lot of it for the prep work here.
Nice,
It's actually a
thanks.
really good podcast. Well, Aaron, I mean, still, I can't thank you enough for wanting to be on the show. This is big first Air Force, first PJ on. So this is momentous for both of us, I
Let's
feel.
go. Oh, momentous for me. It's the first time I've ever been here.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, momentous because you're in the presence of greatness.
Indeed.
All right. Well, hey, everybody, if you've made it this far, leave a like, subscribe, comment, do whatever to help the algorithm boost the show. I greatly appreciate it. Go follow Aaron. Aaron Loves America, One's Ready podcast. And with that, we are out of here. Take care of yourselves.
Done. Thanks.
Aaron.